Get in, lads. My name is Elijah. I'm joined by Andres today. We're talking about Canada's September fixtures against the USA and Mexico, how they went, what they mean for the future, all that stuff. So if you're a Canadian national team fan, make sure to subscribe now because we're going to be doing a lot of Canadian national team content over the next coming years. Like the video if you're very happy with how that international window went. I'm sorry. And make sure to leave your comments down below as to what you thought about it. And we're going to react to as many as we can. So, first off, I'm just going to start off by saying that Canada is, without a doubt, the most intimidating team in the entire region right now, no?
Yeah,
Without a
took
doubt.
care of business this transfer
Took
window.
care
I
of
just want
business.
to also say I don't have to go to Canada thanks to that one United States player. So shout out you.
It's true.
Appreciate you.
He
Appreciate you
did,
a
he
lot.
did, he did
I'd
say
love
that
to visit Canada.
if they won 2-0.
I did. I didn't last one. I did say if they won 2-0, and then that goal happened, and I was very thankful. But I would have done it if they won 2-0, but that's okay. But no, I think it was a pretty dominant performance against the United States overall. I think they especially they fielded probably their best team possible.
The U.S. or Canada?
Canada.
Oh, yeah, Canada. For the most part, did. Bar injury, Ishmael Cody being the number one name. But
overall, I mean, against a weakened United States side, but still a good squad.
Good.
So, I mean, that's a positive. And then they drew against my boys, Mexico 0-0, with the shite referee. He was bad for both teams. But 0-0. But, weekend side for the Canadian national team after playing all their starters in the first game. But yeah, I mean, you went toe-to-toe with, well, not toe-to-toe. You played both top three Concacaf nations in Mexico and the United States, and you came out with technically 4 points if you want to look at it that way. So, I mean, that's a very successful transfer window. Not transfer window. I'm doing what you're doing now. International
window,
for Canada, especially they continued their form from Copa America, and we had a little question about that if they're able to continue it going into this September window in that preview that we did. And they answered that question pretty much. They said, "Yep, we are the best team in Concacaf at the moment." And you can see a lot more stuff is now clicking with Jesse Marsch. They're getting in that free flow now, passing the ball very well. As I said, a little ticky tacky, but I meant tiki taka, but whatever. But they're playing very well. They look very good, solid.
Absolutely exceptional press will be the first thing I would say. They pressed, especially against the USA. They pressed very, very, very well, and they scared the USA a lot. There was a lot of errors as a result. Cardoso obviously caused the error to get that first goal. Tim Ream had a lot of errors and turnovers and whatnot. So Canada looked really, really good there, and I think that's something that for the longest time I think Concacaf has needed because nobody presses like this really. Mexico kind of tries to.
But it's like not a very good press. It's the front three pressing. It's the front three pressing. That's it.
And then again, it doesn't do much. Canada, though, really, really showed how good they are with the press. And I think it should be scary for a lot of teams. I'd be scared because it is very, very, very scary. So they looked really, really good there. Like I said, without a doubt, the most intimidating team right now. Any team in Concacaf that faces off against them is going to be frightened. Especially the USA, especially Mexico, they look good. I mean, what else can you say? Even to even draw against Mexico there with a very weak side and fairly weaker for Canada. And I'll talk about the difference between the A and B team in a little bit, but Canada played a definitely weaker side than that first game against Mexico, and they still got a draw at the very least without goals conceded. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic by Canada. They just look really good. I mean, that's it. I mean, Canada right now are very easily top contenders for the upcoming CONCACAF tournaments and Gold Cup and Nations League and whatnot. And I would put money on them winning it. Now, obviously, it is still...
Make your bets, people.
There we go. Okay. It obviously is still
are great.
His first window outside of Copa America, right? And you can make the claim, you can make the statement of, they're still trying to they're still getting into things. It's still early. They still have momentum carrying, but let's see what happens afterwards. I get that, but it doesn't look like it's going to stop soon. And You're right. We had questions asking, will it keep up after Copa America? Was it a fluke run? And no, I don't think so. Even if they had lost the USA, I don't think people would have considered it a fluke run. Jesse Marsch,
I think it just enhanced it even more that it's not with the result. You know what I mean?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, in that win against the USA, he needed it because I know in normal time he was 1-3-2 or 1-4-3 or something like that with his record. He only had one win, before that game. To get that win against the USA, phenomenal. Even if you didn't win against Mexico, still fantastic. Yeah, I mean, overall, what letter grade would you give it? I mean, it's just a pure A minus
B
for me at the very
B
worst.
plus B
Okay,
plus just because they didn't
okay, that's
beat
fine.
Mexico, and
That's
if they
fine.
scored, maybe a
And,
different story, but
yeah,
B plus.
exactly. And I mean, Canada. I guess I'll talk about that game. I mean, Canada's played a weaker squad than what they did, which is understandable, and you could tell. I mean, Jesse Marsch is a first team manager. Canada, which is understandable. Canada doesn't have the depth yet, I think, to exist in tournaments for a long time. Obviously, Copa America is different, but I want to see them in like the Nations League and the World Cups and whatnot. But I think that the depth isn't there for Canada just yet, and that's okay. That's not a criticism. That's just it. Just is what it is. I mean, they
Yeah,
started a lot of B team players in that game, and it's a very big drop off. Jonathan David not being in the starting 11 is huge. He is insanely important to how Jesse Marsch wants to play. Really, really, really important. Moise Bobito in defense at center back, it's a big difference without him there. Obviously, Derek Cornelius still look really well, but him not being there is really, really important. The Canada has a lot of really important players on the first 11, which is great. Great, don't get me wrong, absolutely great players that can change the game for the team. But when none of them are there, it's a big difference, and you can tell. That would be my biggest issue with the whole window is that it really did expose what they're lacking. But that's good. You kind of need to know that, you know? You need to know that. That needs to be found out sooner than later. And that's okay. It's not going to change overnight, but I think it will change over time. Otherwise, though, yeah, very, 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 very solid. I mean, just the win against the USA immediately was
yeah.
fantastic.
And also, I said it's time for Jonathan David to show up, and he did. He scored. I was like, oh, he scored. I was like, okay. So honestly, that video we did on the preview, like the questions we asked were actually top class, like genuinely, because they were all answered in that
Props to
one
us.
game. Yeah, I know, right? Ball knowledge,
Yeah.
baby. Calls football gurus, baby. That's what I always say. I mean, I'm already a certified guru. We're still waiting for
Okay.
Elijah's decision, with the committee and all that jazz. Just because he hasn't like made any predictions yet that've come
Committee.
true.
Oh.
But you know what I mean. But yeah, it's positive, especially going into this October window. I don't have who they're playing pulled up, but you know what I mean. But it's still like good to keep the momentum going and to stay top because they're top. So and even like if we look for like in a year of like
Hmm.
favorites for Nations League, Gold Cup, I don't even think you put Canada like 3, 4. You know what I mean? Maybe 5. But now you're like, okay,
Oh. In past times, yes. I'm sorry.
yeah. No. Whoa, whoa. But now you're kind of like, oh, they're in pole position here and easily top 2, like possibilities.
Yeah.
I don't know the odds of betting, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I can't. I don't have that on the top of my head. I'm gonna say they're pretty good though in terms of betting. If
Yeah.
you want to put some money on that,
I mean, most
if you
momentum out
lose,
of
don't
any
blame me.
team here,
Yeah,
like without a
uh,
doubt.
yeah. Especially Gold Cup with the United States fielding typically a
B team.
weaker squad. The United States probably
C team.
Mexico
Yeah.
feeling they're going to be their best squad, and then Canada, I would encourage them to field their best squad so they can try and win
Yeah.
a Gold Cup.
I think they will.
But I
think
think
they
it's
will.
really positive. I mean, like what you said, I think it's super positive going forward. It wasn't a fluke. This Copa America wasn't. It was a one hit wonder. They're here to stay.
Hmm.
Jesse Marsch has been a revelation for the Canadian national team, and it's only up. I mean, well, pause. There's a way to go down from here, obviously, because you're at your high
Yeah.
right now. But it looks like all the signs are pointing for a way up. So yeah, it's very positive going forward. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great. They play Panama, which I think is going to be a good game. I mean, if this game was like one of those where like 2-3 years ago, it'd be like, well, you never know where this is going to go. I think Canada definitely does have the up, but
3-2.
there is one thing I want to see from Canada, right, moving forward, and you can beat USA Mexico, great, and that's a statement, and every team in Concacaf should fear you, but there are still opportunities to falter against weaker teams, right? And the likes
Yep.
of like you think of Costa Rica, Panama, Jamaica, Honduras. If I just want to be sure Canada can beat those teams. I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying this in a way where I don't know if they can. I think they can. I think they will. But I just want to be sure that they can. Right? I want to be sure they're not just big team opponents, and
They're not
that's
David.
great. Yeah, exactly. That's great on its own. But I want to be sure that they have the capabilities of going into every single game, treating it like it's an important game, and playing like it is. That's the biggest issue with the USA right now, right? And the complacency. USA, obviously, they say with Pachin coming in, they want somebody to teach them how to fight. It's a shocker that they don't know how to fight. Canada knows how to fight, right? And that's never been a talked about thing until Jesse Marsch got there. So props to him. But Jesse Marsch has made it turn the team into fighters. You need to fight against the little guy too. I want to be sure that they're able to beat the Panamas and Costa Ricas and Jamaicas of the world. And I think they will, without a doubt. I think they will.
Yeah.
But I'm very interested in seeing how they play there. I do hope by then, too, there's a lot of improvement with that B team. I don't know if you play an A team or B team just yet. I would say stick with the A team for now, but
a
maybe
mix.
for half.
Maybe mix
50,
it up.
55 minutes, then you make the subs because you can make unlimited subs and friendlies. Very interested to see how they play. But yeah, but moving forward, like you can't sit there and say that they're not the best team. I mean, if you're an American fan,
unfortunately,
there's, you could say that overall in the long term, maybe USA is better, maybe a little bit, but even then, I think that'd be a shocker, and I would even argue that as a USA fan myself. Canada's looks better team in the long run. Now, there are problems, there are issues, and one key injury. Let's say Jonathan David's hurt for 2-3 months, and that happens around either the World Cup or something, or like Nations League or Gold Cup and whatnot. I think this team's going to get really found out, and that's my biggest thing. Some key injuries to key players could be a huge problem, right?
True, but that's true with every national team, though.
It very much so is, and I guess this is just more discourse on the lack of depth they have. You take out Bombito and Cornelius, the backup center backs it's a big drop off, So that's just my thing is I would like to see improvement in that scenario. I just want to make sure I want to see that Jesse Marsch knows how to handle that well in the way where he knows how to change tactics to deal with that and be okay not being on the front foot on the press, because that obviously is their biggest plan of attack is to be on the front foot and constantly all over the other team. There are going to be games where you can't do that. I just want to see those games, I guess, is the only thing. But again, none of this is criticism. It's really just acknowledging what's there and the fact that they still look really, really good. Asking questions that need to be asked and that will be answered one day. But yeah, I mean, they're fantastic. They came to the USA and showed them up.
Came, they saw, we kicked its ass. Ghostbusters reference. But
there you go. Never seen it.
I just changed it up a little bit. What?
Never seen it. I know. I've seen bits of parts, but I've never seen it.
Dog.
One thing I want to say.
That's my favorite movie.
One thing I do want to see, though, is let's start going to Canada as the rest of Concacaf. Let's start getting some friendlies going in Canada. Obviously, they came to the USA and Mexico and played on their terms, I imagine. But I want to see the support in Canada, man. Because I'm seeing articles where Canada's bigger than hockey over there. Soccer's bigger than hockey out there. And I need to see, I want to see this in action. I want to see these crowds. I want to see Canada at home. Because Canada away looks really good. Canada played the entire Copa America away. Look really good. And they're doing this with minimal support. They're doing this with very low support at these games. Let's see that. I want to see some games in Canada. I want to see Canada full force. I want to see them beating teams 4-5-0 because they have all these Canadians behind them, happy as hell. I want to see that. I want to see Andres over there drinking Tim Hortons. And
if they win 3-0, in the Panama game they played, they win 3-0.
This is crazy. He really wants to go to Canada. He just
really
wants to go to Canada.
It's not like
Who was the guy that commented? Who's the guy that commented and said, "I'll take you out for a beer"? Andres doesn't drink, but I'll take one.
Yeah, he can come with me. We'll make a whole vlog on it. We'll make a whole vlog on it. Flying to Canada or driving to Canada. I'm sure.
If we get the support,
fly.
I'd rather fly. If we can only afford driving, we'll drive. But
yeah,
if we get this, if we get like a very similar amount of support that we've gotten from the Indonesians and Jamaicans on our channel, if Canadians show up and support us, there is no doubt in my mind that we will one day take a trip to Canada, go to a game, and experience Canada for ourselves to show our support.
Yeah, Tim Hortons, baby.
Tim Hortons, yeah, and
I'll have Tim Hortons every single day.
We know there's more.
Yeah, I know. And maple syrup. I got you.
And Drake.
Justin Bieber, JB.
Oh, JB. That's true. That's true.
We'll go to the forest, hang out some elk.
Ryan Reynolds, Canadian.
Ryan Reynolds. We'll watch Deadpool over there too. An honor.
But yes, if you guys show some support, that's what we get. Wow, what a throwback there.
Throwback, best Minecraft YouTuber of all time. I don't want to hear anything else. I know it's a controversial statement, but that man was my childhood. Best Minecraft YouTuber of all time. I mean, Captain Sparkles is a close second, but
iconic.
But yeah, Captain Sparkles. But you know what I mean? This is not a Minecraft channel. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. We lost the plot.
I don't know where we are either. Anyways, But yes, we would appreciate a lot of Canadian support. I know we have it there. I know you guys watch our videos. If you're watching this, leave a like down below. To the guy, like I said, to the guy who commented on our other video talking about Canada, I will happily take that beer, brother. I will happily meet up with you in Canada, and we'll share a
I'll
beer
drink a
together
water.
and
You
talk
can buy
about
me
some
a water.
footy. Andres will be there with his apple juice next to us. It'll be a great time. Yeah, no, hey, no, we'll treat you, dog. We'll treat you.
I
Maybe
appreciate that.
maybe that's apple cider. Who knows? Apple cider.
Ooh, I do like apple cider.
Otherwise, I mean, like I said, let us know your opinions down below in the comments because I know you guys have a lot of them. As you should. You've earned it. You've absolutely earned it. Otherwise,
Proving
I
us
think
wrong.
That's us, Andres. Unless you have anything else to say. All right, fantastic.
Go to your local Tim Hortons, Canadians.
If you can, yeah. That is us at the Get Football Podcast. My name is Elijah. That is Andres. Hopefully we'll see you guys in more Canadian videos or Concacaf or any other football videos. If you just want to watch along, please do. See you guys in some other videos. Take care.